2025 has been a fantastic year for video games, and the Xbox Series X library is looking better than ever. From remakes of fan-favorite titles with outdated graphics, to new installments of beloved franchises and even brand new properties, the console has built an impressive selection of quality games. In fact, the competition has been so fierce that when talking about the best games for the Xbox Series X, that it can be hard to find the greatest titles on the console. Thanks to modern classics like Elden Ring and incredible indies like Hollow Knight, Silksong, Xbox gamers can enjoy all kinds of incredible titles.
Hazelight Studios is known for making co-op games that are instantly fun, and Split Fiction is proof of that. The follow-up to It Takes Two is a co-op game that shifts between sci-fi and fantasy, a truly unique gameplay mechanic that makes the game a blast from start to finish. Split Fiction received several nominations at the Game Awards and is currently the top contender for the year's best multiplayer game. Gamers looking for an Xbox Series X title they can play with their friends will want to have a Split Fiction in their library.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is one of 2025's biggest success stories. Developed by a small team at French studio Sandfall Interactive, the game has ushered in a new era for turn-based RPGs, and is currently the game to be at 2025's The Game Awards. One reason Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has been so successful is that it was available day one on Game Pass, which convinced many gamers to give the title a try. It quickly won them over with its addictive combat and gorgeous visuals, and it's become one of the greatest games in the Xbox Series X library.
For a while, it seemed like Hollow Knight Silksong might never arrive. But when it was finally released in 2025, it immediately proved it was worth the wait. Demand for Silksong was so high that it crashed gaming storefronts, and it was quickly recognized as one of the greatest Metroidvanias ever made. One of the most polarizing aspects of Silksong is its intense difficulty, and while its brutal boss fights might not be for everyone, it feels incredibly satisfying to overcome the game's many challenges. Like Clair Obscur, Silksong was a day one Game Pass game and proved the subscription was worth the money.
Many gamers grew up dreaming about being Indiana Jones, and Machine Games' Indiana Jones and the Great Circle made those fantasies come true. Set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, the game sees Indy facing off against Nazis, who are trying to take control of an ancient power. And new DLC, The Order of Giants, was released in September 2025, so now is the perfect time to dive into this Indiana Jones adventure. Since Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is included in Game Pass, it's a title every Xbox Series X owner should try.
Hi-Fi Rush is an exceptional rhythm game that's been criminally overlooked. Tango Gameworks made a rhythmic experience like no other, with compelling characters and a surprisingly engrossing story. The game's rhythm mechanics will put players' reflexes to the test. Every level and specific moment of action feels like a rock show, with exciting background tracks and interactions happening on beat. Combining a hack-and-slash beat-em-up with a rhythm game is ambitious enough, and the clever writing is a stroke of genius. Hi-Fi Rush is one of a kind, and it's an Xbox Series X game well worth picking up.
Sea of Thieves has been around since 2018, but the 2020 enhanced version on Xbox Series X takes things to another level. The console's greater processing power gets the absolute best out of the game's surprisingly stunning visuals. It continues to be a pirate lover's dream, and collaborations like Sea of Thieves' Pirates of the Caribbean themed A Pirate's Life adventure had made it even better. Whether players want to take a sloop out on the sea by themselves or team up with friends, Sea of Thieves is always an incredible adventure.
Given Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous launch in 2020, fans would be forgiven for questioning the game's place anywhere near any top rankings or reviews. However, just as games like No Man's Sky before it, Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red recovered from early mistakes and have made the game into a must-play. 2023's Phantom Liberty expansion added even more amazing content to Cyberpunk 2077, including a brand new district and a new quest line. Cyberpunk 2077 has sold 35 million copies, making it CD Projekt Red's biggest game ever, and that success is well-deserved.
Forza is easily one of the biggest racing video game franchises of all time, with various top releases since the first Forza Motorsport title debuted back in 2005. 2021's Forza Horizon 5 ushered in a new era, proving that racing games could look better than ever on more powerful and capable next-generation consoles. The exquisite graphics and general visuals are just a part of what makes Forza Horizon 5 such a great game. Fans also love the Forza Horizon series because of its incredible soundtrack and smooth gameplay. With Forza Horizon 6 coming in 2026, now is the perfect time to pick up this classic Xbox Series X game.
There's something extra special about remakes and reboots of beloved games, especially when they are done well. Resident Evil 4 Remake blew it out of the water in terms of refining a fan-favorite title while still going further in exceeding lofty expectations. The 2005 original Resident Evil 4 is still considered one of the best in the franchise, but by modernizing the graphics, story, and controls of a classic, Capcom has made one of the best remakes ever. Resident Evil 4 is at the very top of survival horror games, and as far as Xbox Series X games go, it's a must-buy. From Software games have always had a reputation for difficulty, which has ultimately put many gamers off from playing titles like Dark Souls. However, Elden Ring changed this perception of these games upon its 2022 release by making those mechanics more accessible and enjoyable on a much larger scale. Not only did Elden Ring have Game of Thrones mastermind George R.R. Martin and From Software's Hidetaka Miyazaki as its writers, but everything came together to achieve the ultimate open-world RPG. Elden Ring looks stunning on this Xbox Series X, but players don't always get to enjoy the breathtaking scenery and views, as there are tough fights around almost every corner.
Halo Infinite isn't just another entry in the Halo franchise. It's a statement, a return to form for longtime fans and a fresh starting point for new players on Xbox Series X. The game brings back that classic Halo arena feel, but with modern gunplay, fluid movement, and some of the best sound design in the series. What truly sets Infinite apart is the introduction of the open-world style campaign on Zeta Halo. Instead of strict linear missions, you have freedom. You choose where to go, how to fight, and which bases to liberate. And then there's the grapple shot. Arguably one of the best additions Halo has ever seen. It changes combat completely, letting you swing across the battlefield, grab weapons mid-fights, launch into enemies, or escape when things get chaotic. It's fast, stylish, and incredibly satisfying. Visually, Halo Infinite shines on Xbox Series X with crisp environments, excellent lighting, and smooth 60+ FPS gameplay. The soundtrack is powerful, emotional, and nostalgic. It feels like old-school Halo reborn with new soul. And of course, the multiplayer is free to play, making it one of the most accessible shooters on Xbox. Classic modes, balanced sandbox combat, and consistent updates keep the game alive even years later. Halo Infinite stands proudly among the greatest Xbox titles, not because it changes everything, but because it reminds us why Halo became legendary in the first place.